We need to talk about Heung-Min Son because it's been a rollercoaster season for the South Korean thus far, much as it has been for the whole of Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur team. With a huge chunk of the season still to go, is the winger still the answer for Spurs? Should he be our captain? And today on the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, we're going to be talking about the problem of Heung-Min Son. And if you are new to the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, then drop a like, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and leave your comments down below of what you make of Son in the Tottenham team. The reason I wanted to do this video right now is because Son's future is up in the air. There seems to be a contract offer on the table and he is really set to sign it. Fabrizio Romano actually tweeted saying that he's likely to sign a deal until 2026. You know, another year at the football club after this one. So it does make sense to talk about Son because there's been a lot of debate actually at the moment whether he should be our captain, whether he's a good leader, whether he is still good enough to, lead that front line for Spurs. A lot of different discussions going around, but we might as well start with that contract. And what do I think of offering him that contract? Now, on one hand, you can sort of see this in two parts. You can see it as Son has been at the club for a long while. He's been at the club for over 10 years. And the club are offering him a contract that he thoroughly deserves based on his past achievements. He's scored plenty of goals for Tottenham. He has been an absolute talisman for us and has stuck around during the hard times, unlike some other players who have gone off to Germany. Not going to name names though. But he then was rewarded with the captaincy. So you can see how his level of progression has gone up the club. He is actually one of our top goal scorers in our history as well. So we should applaud that. And also from another point of view, Daniel Levy and Tottenham as a whole see Son as a really good business opportunity. They tap into a market with Son. We've gone on pre-season tours to Korea, as well as other areas in the Far East. He has got a global appeal. You can just tell that Son is an absolute legend to so many. And also, another way to see why he signed this contract is we've obviously got Yang coming in very, very soon actually. And Son will obviously be a very good person for him to be around and sort of, really get to grips with living in a different country. And obviously they play in the same position as well, similar position. So it'd be good to have him on board. So I can see the ideas of why we want to keep him around. But then we have maybe the negatives. And after obviously going to Tottenham's most recent game against Ipswich, you can see that Son is lacking in certain areas. He's obviously lost his pace in certain attributes. He can't beat his man as successfully as he did. But he is still a potent finisher and has an eye for a goal. All we've got to do is look at his stats this season. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists in 11 games so far. And obviously this season as well, he has been hampered by injury, which hasn't helped his cause. Obviously, we want him to play the most minutes, but, there's been a few games where he hasn't been fit. Even in the Europa League, he had to go down injured and Ben Davies was like, you better go off, you're not fit enough. He's had a few games in and out of the side. But obviously there's competition now in those winger positions. Mikey Moore has come through the team, so he's shown that he could be the next generation. But the thing is with Son, he has still shown his potential. Even last season, the numbers he hit were very good. And he ended up on 17 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. And even the year before, which was the year he obviously, people would say wasn't his best year whatsoever, he still managed 14 goals and 6 assists. And then the year before that, when we go even further, was the year he won the Golden Boot in the Premier League. And he got 24 goals in all competitions. So all in all, Son, I don't think has actually gone on a negative trajectory if we are actually looking at his goal stats. It just may be his overall play where we're seeing a different sort of Son. Last year he was played through the middle because we obviously had Richarlison and him who kept rotating. Richarlison was obviously injured as well, so we needed different outlets. And Son was therefore seen as, this sort of bit part player. But I guess what another factor to this is Son actually the perfect Ange winger? Is he good far out on the wing? Because we know him as cutting in and absolutely bolting goals into the top right-hand corner usually. Whereas Ange wants his winger to really pin to the side and then open up space for the fullback. But maybe it's not working as well as that. We've also not seen him fully line up and link up with the likes of James Maddison and Dominic Solanke this season. We've seen it in bit parts. We haven't seen them all firing on all cylinders. And that's why in my recent video where I actually ranked the Spurs players, I did put Son in okay, and it wasn't a negative for him. I just think he's not performing at the best of his ability, and I don't think that's all his fault. I think it's actually been out of his hands because of this injury situation. You know, even in the last couple of days, he scored his 50th goal for Korea. We know how good he is for his country. He's won, tournaments for them. But for Spurs, he isn't getting any younger. And I think that's what the worry is, where we're offering him a new contract. Does he sort of, should we be moving on from Son? Is he actually the answer for us in this area? And a lot of, people who have played for Spurs, past and present, have been debating Son sort of and his legacy, his, future at the club. And it has actually been quite mixed emotions.
Before we go to the phone lines, Dan, excuse me, let me get your view. Son signed for Spurs in 2015, so 9 years ago. He's gone on to score 122 goals in 307 Premier League appearances. He scored 2 goals in 4 games in the league so far. And since 2016-17, he's never scored less than 10 league goals in a season. Why is it, do you think, in the 9 years he's been there, I've never picked up the back page of a newspaper, I've never turned on talkSPORT and heard a club heavily linked to Son? Why is that?
Well, because he's always been settled, hasn't he? He's always been one of the very unusual, I know, for players of high quality who keep producing season in, season out. He just seems like a guy who was happy where he was. He had that wonderful relationship with Kane for years and probably always felt that they were so close to kicking on. So maybe he did have a couple of opportunities. We just didn't hear them about it. He doesn't seem like that type of guy who's got representatives who are going to put it out there.
No.
So that's probably why. But there would have been interest.
Okay. He's 32 years old. Spurs have got a decision to make. They can extend his contract by an extra year, but at the end of this season, that's when they have to make that decision. What would you do with him if you're Spurs? Do you offer him a new deal, big deal to keep him?
Well, it depends. You'd have a conversation with him how he feels. What does he want to be there? I'd definitely extend the year. Look, you can't really find too much fault with Son because his numbers are tremendous. He's 164 goals in 412 total, which is 2.5 a game. One goal.
1 in 2.5.
Yeah. And generally played as a wide man. I know he's filled in centrally as well.
Right, yeah.
Conducts himself in a way that every fan would want all their players to behave. Honesty, integrity, humility. Everything about him is how you would want your players to be.
Okay.
And I think it would be foolish if you have the option to have him for another year to let him go because he's fit. He doesn't miss games.
Just yes or no, because I wanted to speak to Navin. Is he a Premier League great? Steven Gerrard, yes, is the answer. Harry Kane, yes, is the answer.
I'd say yeah.
Okay.
It's killing me.
What's that about Son? Let it go about.
Yeah, like sometimes you've just got I'm not saying he still can't do a job, but I think that people, I said it a little bit earlier, like we need to realise where Son is at.
He's got to score.
Well, he's got to shoot. I don't know why he's trying to take it around the keeper.
Oh, Son, prime Son.
How do you feel about Sonny?
I think we're
I feel
coming
like
to the
I'm
end.
over the hill with him.
We're coming to the end, and I think people need to understand that.
I just think the fans and everyone's finished with him.
Really?
No, I don't think they're as finished as maybe you and I might.
Real proper fans.
Oh yeah, if you can see it, that aren't
really?
hanging on to what Son.
He's not. He can't do it, mate.
I'd say the last 18 months, Son isn't where Son is. And again, I think he got 17 goals last season. A lot of those came late on in games where defences were tired. In terms of actually being effective and beating a man, he's not Son of old, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with admitting that.
That's. Yeah, fine. It just surprises me.
What was it, Jay, about Son? Do you think maybe the pace has gone, just the quality in the final third?
Yeah, quality in the final third. He's 33. Is he going to go past people? Is it? He's a great. Listen, he's been a great player, an unbelievable player.
Great, yeah.
Tottenham, great. He is, right? But I just feel like when I watch him now, I'm like, what are you actually? You've got that sharpness and that edge to your game. I just don't know if he has. He's gone through there clean one-on-one. And
do you think there's
an old Sonny? That's guaranteed.
So if you're building your your best Spurs 11, do you think? Do you think you're at a point now to take him out of the team, or is it hard to do that because he's captain and stuff?
No, you can't take him out of the team because I don't think there's someone better than him.
Yeah, Johnson's not better
but
than him.
But I think we've got to start looking at a new left winger.
Without a doubt. And that's where, when I said earlier about Eze, someone like that comes in and then you're seeing the difference in the two players. That's not to say Son hasn't been an unbelievable servant, but that's just calling it for what it is, where someone is at in their career.
I'm not sure about Eze, you know.
Nah.
Let's talk Spurs now. Great to have Flav Bateman joining us from the Fighting Cock podcast. Flav, how are you, my man?
I'm very well, boys. How you doing?
Can't complain. We can't complain at all, Flav. Let's talk Spurs. Let's go straight with the big one, Son. And by the way, before we start this, I think Son stays. I'm not going to try and just do this sort of gaslighting stuff. I think Son stays, but he has been linked. I don't normally do. That's Rory, but he has been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, and we know when they come in and they show the big checks, there'll be a couple more zeros in the bank account. He will be tempted. Do you think there's any temptation whatsoever from Son to try something new, a new venture?
No, I haven't. That's news to me. There isn't a world where Heung-Min Son goes to play in Saudi Arabia right now. I don't think he'll be fair game in a couple of years wherever he wants to go. But he's got a lot to prove. I know he had a bit of a difficult season last season in that we were struggling as a team to break low blocks down, and Heung-Min Son was played as a number 9 for a lot of it. And he isn't a natural number 9. He can do it if you're playing in transition, but generally Heung-Min Son's much better off the left. I don't think there's a world where Tottenham entertain a bid unless it's insane money, which is not going to be for Heung-Min Son. And you're talking 80-90 million pounds from Saudi Arabia.
I wouldn't even accept that for Heung-Min Son.
Would you not? 90 million pounds?
I wouldn't, honestly.
He probably would at this stage of his career.
I still think he's fantastic.
He is
fantastic.
You know what it is? Because find me the replacement then. You know, you just said 90 million. Find me the replacement that on the left can get you 20 plus goals.
Get in your scouting bag. That's what your scouts got to do. With 90 million, they can go and get 3 players.
I don't think it's that easy.
Flav, do you agree with that?
No, it's a number I've just pulled out of my magic hat. I don't think we'll ever get 90 million. I think at 31 years old, if someone gave us 90 million pounds,
I'll take it.
Yeah, right now.
One second. Are you the owner of the club all of a sudden? Like when have fans turned into financial directors? I just want the best players at my club. Best players. And Son is that.
Doing the right thing is also selling your players when their value is at their premium and their offering to you is somewhat limited.
Son's on the decline.
Son's on the decline?
Yeah.
Then there's no evidence to say
there's no evidence to say Son's on the decline.
I don't think he's on the decline, but I'm saying if a mental bid like 90 million came in for a player who's 31 years old, you'd have to consider it.
Absolutely.
You
have to take it.
I think regardless of age, I still think he's the best left-sided player in the Premier League.
What?
Son, who's better on the left than Son?
Right now, still, you think that?
I think he's sensational. I think he's been forced to play through the middle.
Yeah,
I think
he's not rubbish. He's still very
a better
good.
left-sided player. Do you think?
But I think his stock's
go for the clubs. Who's better?
90 million.
Who's better?
I'd say
it's Luis Diaz. What are we going for the clubs? Doku, Grealish, Martinelli, Trossard. I think he's the best.
I think it's less about. I think it's less about his. We're not debating his quality.
Yeah.
He's an incredible player. It's just if you're offered insane money at his age, the club probably could look at that and go, "Well, we can do something with that." I don't want to sell Son. Son, without a shadow of a doubt, over the last 10 years, is my favourite player at Spurs. When Harry Kane was angling for a move to Manchester City 3 years ago, Heung-Min Son signed a new contract. That's how much we hold Son in high regard. This isn't about Heung-Min Son. It's about, taking emotion out of it. If we were offered a huge amount of money from Saudi Arabia for Son that's over and above his market value, then you have to consider it. That's all I'm saying.
They're on the phone now. They listen, by the way. They're on the phone now. Really? He's 85. Let's test it. Let's test.
Why would he go there? He's not a player that seeks money. He has all the money that he could possibly need. He has
it's more money in it, Flav. They all all of them. They're all rich.
Yeah.
Neymar, Ronaldo, they're all
but
loaded.
there's something about Son. I hear, but something about Son. I think he's really personal.
Mane's that. Mane's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think Son is that.
No, he's gone. Mane went. That's what I'm trying to say. Mane's exactly that. Remember the pictures of Mane with a broken phone?
Yeah.
Like, you look at Mane, he doesn't care about money.
N'Golo Kante drives a Mini.
N'Golo, exactly.
Fit 500,
exactly.
but he's there.
I think Heung-Min Son's built different.
Yeah, I agree. I
can't see him accepting to do that, and I think he wants to stay at Spurs.
And finally, I just want to talk about him as captain, because this has come under a lot of scrutiny. And I believe that Son is a different sort of captain. He is that arm-around captain. He's not going to shout and scream and kick off that a stereotypical football captain might. What he's going to do is he's going to, as I say, coach the youngsters, really bring them on. He is sort of a humble figure at the football club. And I know there's been a big debate at the moment about Spurs don't have any leaders whatsoever, which, it's one of those where I have said it in the past, but I'm not sure what leadership and fight are they going to show. I think that's what it is. We want to see, passion. We want to see, drive and determination from our players. But we need certain individuals to step up. Maybe Son has to do that sometimes. But we don't want egos. We don't want people, acting out of character and, getting into trouble. And even when you look up and down the Premier League, I feel like unless you're talking about the big clubs, they're the ones where you've got your leaders, but they've all won stuff. The thing is with Spurs, it's so raw and new, and the turnover of players is so high that they're all new to it, aren't they? They all don't know the processes of how to win yet, and that is quite a Spurs thing of not knowing to win. But even if you actually look at the video that Spurs posted when he was awarded the captaincy, you can see how it impacted him and how he really felt.
All right, morning lads. We'll go through a couple of things this morning. We'll have a look at opposition again tomorrow, obviously the Brentford game, so we'll do that. Sort of match day night as well, just to give you a little bit of information before we train, and also understand what we're going to face tomorrow, and then we'll top it up tomorrow. But also this morning I just want to go over a couple of other things. One is obviously new season starts tomorrow for us. New season for us as a group, and from our perspective, it's as I said from day one, it's going to be about who we are and who we want to be as a football team, as a football club from here onwards. And part of that process is creating an environment for you guys, by you guys, that will help us get there. So the dressing room area, players' dressing room is your space, and what the environment looks like in there, rather than me telling you what it should be, has to be something that's driven by you guys. You have to. This is your dressing room. Your dressing room is like your home. What do you need in there to make sure that every day when we come here, you are able to be at your best and improve every day, and make sure that every week we can perform at our best. So within that context, a lot of that responsibility will fall onto you guys to create that. What we see, what we will see is your behaviours outside that, the way you train, the way you play, and that will give us an indication that how that environment is. But I really want it driven by you guys, and within that context, you obviously need some leadership through with that. With the new season coming, I'll make the decision that Sonny will be our next captain for this year, mate. So congratulations.
Look, boys, I think it's a huge season ahead for us, so I think we should take, as a captain, I think we should take all responsibility, nice behavior, good training session. I think discipline is our most important thing, so I think everyone knows how important that level, so to be disciplined. So I think this season is huge. Let's be all together, same thing, same way. We have a big season ahead. Let's go.
And as Sonny said, leadership is not just him. Leadership, we've got experienced players within this group who know what it looks like to be successful, knows what we need to do. So it's not just about the captain, it's leadership. And leadership can come from the youngest players in the team. Leadership is about behaviour, that's it. The example you said, if you train well, if you do something in the game that inspires the rest, that's leadership. So it's not just about leadership, so it's not just about who the captain is, it's about everybody buying into it. And within that context, I also I want to appoint two vice captains, Guti, Romero and Matters. So congratulations, boys. These are the two. So like I said, really important, that area is yours. It's not me telling you what to do, how to behave. It's driven by you guys. you're the ones that are going to create that environment that's going to make us successful. All right?
Those are all positives in my eyes. I think Son is a good captain. I even commented on it last year saying that his way of captaining like Spurs is a good one. I mean, when I look at Hugo Lloris as our captain, did he offer much more leadership? Was there many leaders during that time at Spurs? Maybe the defenders, Toby and Jan, were better leaders. Moussa Dembele, was Kane a good leader when he was the captain? I'm not so sure. I mean, I think this week we've seen for England that Kane is a sus captain. The way he sort of has called out the players for, rejecting England because of injury. So there are a lot of weird discussions to come from this, especially with how Lloris was. I don't know if you've seen about his book. He's released a book basically talking about his time in his career, and he's commented on the Champions League and said that he wanted people to come to him and come for him, but he's the captain and he didn't show leadership. Actually, I'm going to show a clip of Arsenal legend Emmanuel Petit reacting to that.
Now, former Spurs captain Hugo Lloris has been speaking about his time in North London. In his new autobiography, Hugo Lloris, Earning My Spurs, he spoke about the 2019 Champions League final, which of course Spurs lost to Liverpool. In his book, he says, and these are direct quotes, 4 days before the final, Daniel Levy called us all together to announce that, with the support of a sponsor, we would each receive a luxury aviator watch from the club. At first, we're all very excited to see the elegant boxes. Then we opened them and discovered that it had on the back of each watch engraved with the player's name and Champions League finalists 2019. Finalists! Who does such a thing at a moment like this? I still haven't got over it. And I'm not alone. There are plenty of other quotes to go into that. I'm going to come to you, Emmanuel. There's a lot that's been said.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to get a lovely watch, right?
I mean, no, we received, national team, two beautiful watches, after we won the World Cup and after we won the European tournament in 2000. But that was after. I mean, who offer you a watch before you play the final and that says you're finalist, not the winner? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a terrible mistake, and that shows me, the mentality at Spurs that never win anything.
So yeah, it's a strange one for me. I don't know where I sit, so you're going to have to let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Son should be given his new contract? Do you think he's a good leader? And do you think he's a good player still? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm willing to debate either way. I've sort of played both sides of the field there, but I still think he's got the potential. I just think, maybe a few more years and then we have to cut our costs and say goodbye to the Korean international. But until next time on the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave your comments, and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Ciao.